And a lot of women, like, they idolize the pastors in these churches. Do you know what I mean? Like, they idolize the pastors. So the pastors have so much power over women.
Like, he's the
church.
closest one to God out of everyone.
Right, exactly.
Do you think that's why? I think it's completely different, man. I'll be honest. I think it's more. I think a big reason why pastors today are idolized a lot by single women is because he tells them that God is going to bring them a husband. So all they have to do is wait. And if anybody knows anything about life, you can't just sit in your ass waiting for things to come to you.
Right.
So it kind of removes the responsibility of having to either put yourself out there or make the effort or put yourself in an environment where someone can come to you. You know? And I also think part of the reason, like I said, about you know, I like the idea of God's the most powerful man, you know. But again, I think it's more because I just know a few older women who use the whole, but I've got Jesus as an excuse not to feel
lonely.
Yeah. If we're gonna say it, if we're gonna call a spade a spade, it's like, you know, if all their friends have kids and they're married and stuff, and then she's the only one single, just like, oh, like, what's happened? She's like, nah, I got Jesus.
Right.
And the thing is, because it's like a religious sentiment, it's hard for anybody to...
Like, Jesus ain't hugging you at night time.
You're not gonna argue with that.
Yeah.
Says that, do you know what I mean? But that's just my thoughts.
Don't you think it's them arguing with themselves?
Yeah.
Low key. It's like they say, nah, I got Jesus, but just I feel like they're thrown at you. As you said, because they know it's a sensitive thing.
Yeah.
They're not, they just throw it so other people can't be like to them. Oh.
Yeah. Because you can have Jesus and have a man.
Because you can.
You can have both.
You can. But so, exactly. That's really my point.
Yeah.
That's really my point.
But the church, sorry, go on, Carl.
I was going to ask you, the girl that like broke it off with you because you weren't Christian, were you hooking up with her?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah.
Yeah, so like, isn't that like, she go ask her pastor about that too?
I mean, but that was the point. But that was the point of contention.
Yeah.
That she like.
How old was she?
She's like 30, 33.
Oh gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like that was a point of contention because she felt guilty about it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't feel guilty. Like, we're in love. Do what we want. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was, she had a stronger sense, I guess, or a stronger feeling towards, you know, the church and her religion and stuff, which is, you know, it's cool. It's just like a very interesting experience for me to go through. Like, oh shit, like Jesus cock blocked me. Do you know what I mean? Like what the fuck? It's just like, wow.
Never did I ever think I would ever hear those words in my entire life.
Oh my god.
Cock block, man.
Bro.
Wait.
Jesus cock blocked me. Like, fuck.
Or he saved you. You never know.
You never know. It's true. You never know. It was not my portion, as they like to say.
Have you guys found? Do you think dating girls in the church is better? Like, do you prefer girls that are in church?
I think it depends what you're looking for.
Okay.
I think because I've dated a couple of girls who were quite heavily Christian, and they're very traditional, which brings a lot of things which are really nice.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're at a certain stage in your life where, you know, I'm going to say they're quite wifey material, but if you're not looking for a wife, then it's not for you at that point in your life.
I would say at this point in time, in these days and times, generally churches are no different from the streets. It's the same women that are in church on a Sunday were just in the club on the Saturday.
Facts.
That's right. What do you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's why I was asking, because I was thinking, I've heard a common complaint from men about dating in the church is that they're for the streets too. And they thought they were going to go to church to find a wife, and they just find like a 304 in sheep's clothing, you know? Like,
yeah, that's true.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's the same. I think that the women in the church are the same nowadays. Because the women that, they're in the club, they're in the bars, they're doing the same things that we're doing, but I guess they have that in their head. They have that safety net of, but I'm going to church, and you know, I do all this church stuff. It's like, well, you did have sex with Tyrone last night.
Father will forgive me for
you know what I'm saying? Like, you did have sex with him last night. Like, let's not lie, but if it makes you feel better that you're going to church on Sunday, then so be it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't.
You know when you say, so you know when you said that, you know, some guy said about the girls that go to church for the streets. Are they? How old are these women? Are they younger women? Are they older women? Like,
well, I've heard a couple different things. I've heard a lot of like single mothers go to the church and they become like born again virgins, basically.
Right. Yeah.
In the church I was involved in.
What is that?
What is
It's
that?
like when you re-virginize.
Do they do an operation to put your hymen back, or like
Dead.
what's that?
It's like I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
I call bullshit. I'm not gonna lie, I call
it
bullshit.
doesn't. It's just basically like where the girls regret the guys they slept with before, and then they want to make the new guy wait for marriage for the girl, basically.
Yeah.
And I've seen girls that this like worked for, actually. Like,
Yeah.
like there were girls that in my church, like from home. I wouldn't say they were like 3 like super, you know, but
Yeah.
But I've also seen girls like still single and they're like mid-30s, you know, because they're waiting.
Yeah.
So,
And do you know what's so funny? It's very interesting you say that, because there's such a high concentration of women in the church, right? And there's not such a high concentration of men in the church. The men that are in the church generally are probably married, probably
really good men, like
probably good
You know what
men,
I'm
but
saying?
so they get snapped up quite quick by these women. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, so then what happens is, let's say in my situation, which is I've heard it a lot of the time, the pastor will say, obviously, the man is not in the church that you're seeing, because they have to go outside of the church to get a man, because there's none in the church generally. So when you go outside, that means you're not getting a church guy.